This is Tomonews for Wednesday, February 22nd. Dead pink kitten turns out to not be so dead. Russian writer Elena Lenina is considering suing media for defamation after she released pics that appear to show her dead pink kitten alive and well, albeit now a less vivid hue of pink. Journalists only print highly vetted stories, everyone knows that. But in their search for facts, no one actually called Lenina to ask her if her pink kitten was really dead. Remember the first rule of journalism: if you pose it as a question, you don't have to worry about facts. Turns out the pink cat scandal already blew over in Russia, and Elena thought she'd proven she was no cat murderer. But the Western press just got around to the story, and now UK papers, the Daily Mail, Metro, as well as yours truly, have had to do a little crow eating. Elena wants to know if the media is sorry for stirring up 30,000 people to sign a petition demanding her arrest on animal abuse charges. Well, sort of, but not really. The cat might be alive, but you still dyed it pink. You're no Cruella de Vil, but you're dumb, and probably shouldn't own animals anyway.
Men stockpile weapons to stop the government. FBI takes all their weapons. In an ironic turn of events, 3 men who were stockpiling weapons and making homemade bombs to thwart a military takeover of the U.S. and a ban on firearms were arrested and had all their weapons taken away by the FBI. 30-year-old Christopher Campbell, 50-year-old Walter Littoral, and 41-year-old Christopher Barker were the subject of a federal investigation that began in June. Littoral reportedly bought gear because he was worried that the federal government would declare martial law and confiscate everybody's weapons. All 3 of the men were allegedly building homemade bombs from a variety of materials, including old grenades, pipe bombs, tennis balls, and coffee cans. Campbell's home in Mount Holly, North Carolina was raided by federal agents over the weekend, along with a tattoo parlor in Belmont that was also owned by Campbell. Now the men face charges of conspiring to violate federal laws about firearms and explosives, which carries a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine.
Like this video?
12-year-old black boy suspended for staring at white girl. Going to school in the U.S. truly sucks now. An Ohio court actually upheld the suspension of a 12-year-old black boy for staring at a white girl at school in what the boy described as a staring contest. Both students attend the Catholic school St. Gabriel's Consolidated near Cincy. According to the boy, he and the girl were having a staring contest and that the girl was giggling the entire time. However, court documents state that the girl said she felt fearful, so the school decided to suspend the boy, even though he wrote an apology saying he meant no harm. According to the boy's mother, the same girl apparently aggressively dumped milk over another student's lunch, but was not punished. Maybe the school should just put blindfolds on all the students, so nothing this dangerous will ever happen again. Children need a safe learning environment. What's next? Are schools gonna start banning tag to ensure physical and emotional safety? Hold on. They already tried to do that in Washington. As for the boy's family, they intend to file an appeal. When asked if the family felt it was race-related, they said they were not ready to pull out the race card.
Phone company discontinues haunted phone number. Back in November 8, 2008, Ms. Fong, age 14, and a group of her friends met up and went on a day trip. It was the same day Ms. Fong met a man identified by his last name, Xu. Xu would later lure the girl away from her friends after the trip and convince her to return to his apartment with him. There, he murdered the middle school student in the bathroom and dumped her body. He also sold her mobile phone to a second-hand dealer. But the ringtone of his victim's phone would continually haunt him in his nightmares. Xu became too afraid to leave his house at night and eventually started sleeping with the lights on. Xu was eventually arrested by police and sentenced to prison. But the story doesn't end there. The person who bought Ms. Fong's mobile phone said that it would often receive empty text messages or voice messages from an unknown caller. Eventually, the phone was taken into evidence by police, but Ms. Fong's ghost seems to be haunting her old phone number. Individuals who were assigned Ms. Fong's phone number would still receive the strange empty text messages from an unknown caller. Customers have complained so often about the ghostly text messages that the phone company has discontinued the number. Suspect fleeing from cops jumps to his death. Police in Taiwan are looking for the driver of a Mazda 3 which joined in during the chase. Mr. Huang, age 52, was at a gas station when he spotted a police vehicle and sped off. The police gave chase, but in the midst of the chase, a Mazda 3 began tailing the police cruiser. Mr. Huang lost control of his vehicle and crashed into the side of the bridge. He can be heard to be shouting, "Why are you chasing me?" just before he leaps to his death over the side of the bridge. The police rushed to Mr. Huang's aid, but he died before the emergency crew arrived. They later found amphetamines in his car, but are now curious at the appearance of the Mazda 3. A check of the vehicle's license plates revealed it to be a stolen vehicle. Could Mr. Huang have been fleeing the driver of the Mazda 3 instead of the police? Police said they'll be investigating Mr. Huang's death and any possible gang connections he may have had.